I'm Colin. Welcome to Learn Somatics. Today I want to show you a second way to release the psoas on hip flexors. So this is a hip flexor variation number 2. So to begin, we're going to lay out flat, bend the two legs, and we're going to start with the left side. And you're going to put your left hand behind your head. Now, in order to do this movement, you're going to need to know how to do the arch and flatten. So if you're not familiar with arch and flattening movements, the arching and flattening of the lower back, maybe head back, check out that video, and then you can come back to this one. So you're going to lay out like so, legs bent, feet flat, left hand behind your head. And to begin, you're just going to gently flatten your lower back into the floor. That's why you need to know how to do arch and flatten. So you're just going to be pressing your lower back down into the floor. Make sure tail tuck under a little bit. Now from here, pick up your head a little and your arm as if to curl up. And then you're just going to pick up your left foot a little bit. And this is going to contract psoas and hip flexors in the belly. From here, keep your lower back pressed into the floor as you let the foot and the head and arm come down. This is where you're getting your release. This is your pandiculation. Slowly relax. Okay, and let's just try that again. Flatten the lower back, pick up the head and arm, curling up, pick up the foot, keeping the lower back pressed down into the floor. So now you're contracted, you're making that deliberate contraction of the muscles you want to release. And as you come down now, keeping your lower back pressed into the floor, you're getting a deliberate release of the abdominals and the hip flexors. Okay, let's try that one more time. Flatten the back down, curl up the head and arm, lifting the foot. That's your contraction, and then slowly keeping your low back pressed down, let that foot and the head and the arm come on back to the table. Okay. If you found that challenging, you can stick with that variation until it becomes easy. If you found that not so difficult or it was quite easy, what you can do is move your foot out a little bit further away from your bum and repeat that idea, which is flattening the back, curling up with the head and arm, and just lifting the foot up a little bit. And the further you move your foot out, the more you're going to feel it in your hip flexors, sort of deep in your sort of side of your belly here. And from here again, keep your lower back flat as you let your foot come down and as you let your head and arm come down. Trying to get them all to come down together. Okay. On the breathing, if you want, you can exhale as you come up and inhale as you come down. I'm talking as I go through it, so it's a little more tricky to do. But let's just repeat that. Flatten the back, curl up the head and arm, pick up the foot, feel it deep here. Slowly keeping your back pressed down, let the foot come down and let the head and arm come down. Okay. All right, so we're going good now. We're releasing the psoas a little further each time. We can make this a little more challenging then by straightening out the leg altogether. And again, you don't have to do this. If you found the last position easy, you can try this. If not, you can stick with the previous position. So we're going to flatten the back down, head and arm curl up, lift the straight leg, keep your back pressed down. And again, you'll feel the tension in the front of the hip and even in the front of your thigh. And again, keep your low back flat as you relax back to rest as smoothly as you can. Okay. So whilst we're getting the psoas, we're also getting the abdominals. We're getting a little bit into your chest because we're picking up the arm, and we're getting the front of the thigh as well. So we're never just releasing one muscle. There's always a bunch of other stuff involved. So let's just do that 2 more times. Flatten the back, curl up with the head and arm, lift the leg, and then keeping your lower back flat to the table or to the floor, just slowly come on back to rest. Smoothly as you can. So when you're coming down, that's when you're getting the release. We do a deliberate contracting of all the muscles when we pick up, and then we're deliberately, slowly relaxing the muscles as we come down. Last time on this side, Flatten the lower back, curl up with the head and arm, lift the leg, and keeping the low back flat, we're just gently, slowly, carefully lengthening back out, keeping our low back flat, letting the leg come down, letting the head come down, and the arm. Okay. All right, so we've done a couple of repetitions at each junction. Lay out flat and see how that feels. Compare the feeling of the left front of the hip, the abdominals, and into the leg to the right hand side. Obviously, you've been gently contracting and relaxing these muscles, so they should feel more clear in your awareness now. Internally, you should be able to sense them better, and hopefully we get a sense of more space in the front of that hip. Okay, so we always want to do both sides so that we're even. So bend the two legs again, and we'll do the right side. We start, remember, this is the easiest version, starting like this. Right hand behind the head, flatten the back, pick up the head and arm. Again, pick up the foot just a little bit. Keep your back flat, let the foot come down, let the head and arm come down. And you may find one side is different to the other. I can feel now this side's a little tighter than the previous. So I'm going to take my time to release it. Flatten the back down, lift the head and arm, lift the foot. And I can close my eyes, and that helps me to concentrate a little more on what I can feel internally. Keep my low back flat as I let the leg come down and the arm and head come down as well. And already that's smoother the second time around. So we'll do one more. Flatten the back, curl up with the head and arm, lifting the foot. Very simple. There's our deliberate contraction. And now slowly and deliberately relaxing back to rest. Okay, so we had no problems there. So we'll let the leg go out a little further. We'll try the next stop. Back flattens, curl up with the head and arm, lift up the foot. And I can feel it more clearly because I've created more of a weight by putting the foot out a little further. Keep your back flat as you let the foot and the head and arm slowly relax back to the floor. Okay. One more time. Flattening the back, curling up, lifting the foot. Keep the bend in the knee, we're just lifting the foot. And then we maintain the contact with the low back and the floor as we relax the foot down and relax the head and arm down. Alright, so I'm feeling good at that. I'm not having any problems. So I can try the straight leg and see if I can do this most challenging position. Again, you're going to flatten your back down to start. Then with the back flat, you're going to curl up the head and arm, and then you're going to lift the leg. You don't have to lift it much. A couple of inches is plenty. You'll feel it in the front of the hip. And then again, you're maintaining contact, keeping that lower back pressed into the floor as you let the leg come down and the top half, head and arm. Okay. And we'll just do that 2 more times to finish. Flattening the back, curling up the head and arm, lifting the leg, and then slowly coming down, keeping the back pressed, the lower back pressed into the floor. So we're not letting that back go into an arch as we lower the foot and lower the head and arm. Last time, flatten the back down, curl up the head and arm, lift the leg. There's our contraction all the way down the front on this side. Deliberately contracting. I can feel those muscles working to hold the head up, to hold the leg up, and I'm going to keep my back flat as I start to relax all the muscles that curl me up in this way and lift the leg. And slowly back to rest. Alright, lay out flat, see what you got. And again, just see if you've got a sense of, if you've done it if you've done that slowly and carefully, you should get a sense of more space through the front of your hip. The legs should feel a little heavier on the table, and just a general sense of more comfort and space through the front of the hips and relaxation through the belly. So that's Psoas release number 2. If you tend to get tight in the front of your hips or in your psoas, I think you'll find that really useful. Give it a try, let me know how you got on, and of course, don't forget to subscribe.